millions of years, mankind lived just like the animals. And something happened, which unleashed the power of our imagination. We learned to talk. There's silence surrounding.
I just hope they all become skeptical about the largest selling book of all time.
Yeah, that's the Bible.
Yeah. Everybody needs to be skeptical.
Like one person said, the credibility in the Bible lies in the fact that so few people actually read it. I mean, most Christians, it sits on a shelf, and that's about all it ever does.
I love that. Yeah, and doing this show every week, and having spent so much time reading and studying the Bible, it's kind of obvious when some people call in that they haven't really read it. So we got Melinda?
Yes, I had a similar experience growing up as Matt, in that I went to college where religion was stressed and everything like that. But when you, as you study more religion, you realize how much the example of Jesus is just like all the other Greek gods, and how throughout history, all leaders of countries have always come up with their rules for everybody, like King James writing the Bible, and all the people supposedly were supposed to be secret because he wanted to stick to the true word of God, but right. It's pretty much a guide of how he wanted his subjects to live. And when you bring that up to other Christians, they and you give them proof or things they can read to learn about these things, they really seem nervous or frightened that you even bring that subject up. Have you ever noticed that when talking to people that are friends of yours that might be Christians or thing like that?
Yeah. If you were to sit there and let's say, and I was going to use this example with a believer, but here's a believer. Let's have them in their mind think about how their belief that the Earth orbits the sun. If they just put that in their mind. Now, if you openly ridicule them, take a look at the reaction that you get. Now, switch that up and have them concentrate on their belief that God exists, and then openly ridicule that. You get a completely different reaction because those two things exist completely separate in the brain. One is a scientific fact. One is something that they want to believe or they believe. It goes through an entirely different process. And they'll think you're ridiculous for making fun of them for you still believe the earth goes around the sun. But if you do the same kind of ridicule about their belief in God, now you get this defensive reaction because subconsciously they realize they're on indefensible ground. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I've noticed that on occasion when you probably heard the same statement when you wonder how come that in the Bible it stressed that Jesus was a Jew and was born of a God, and you probably heard in your seminary classes that, the reason that he was born of a God so the Greek people would believe it, and he's a Jew so the Jewish people believe it. Well, to me, as I've studied and gotten older, I've realized that it's just like any other type of religion or philosophy, is that people will do whatever they have to do to get enough people to believe it to benefit their own cause.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much that kind of situation.
I'm mostly in agreement for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
An actual God would not have to play little psychological tricks like that to convince people, right? Yeah. He would have made a son who had characteristics that were able to convince everybody.
I'd say that
if he could fly around like Superman, that would be pretty impressive.
See, I'd say that an actual God, a perfect God with a perfect law, wouldn't have had to come down and take human form as some kind of loophole to circumvent and make a sacrifice to himself to circumvent a law that he made instead of just, changing the law. But, I'm just a mere mortal.
Thank you for the show. I've been watching it for several years and really enjoy it, and it's the first time I've seen you as a guest host on here, but I really enjoyed the show, and you guys have a good week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Plus, you'd think a god could just strike the individual homosexuals dead if that's what he was really after. I mean, the idea that an omnipotently powerful deity would have to take this huge week-long wind-up to set the air spinning and go, whoa, 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 woo, and then kind of miss.